Hello everyone, my name is Max and today I'm going to be doing the rapid fire book tag. Now I have no idea who this was created by, so I will find them and leave them linked down below, okay? So let's just get into it. First question, ebook or physical book? Physical book all the way. I will read an ebook if it's like really inexpensive on Barnes & Noble for Nook Book, and so I'll buy it and read it, but in actuality, I just love owning a physical book. I love owning it and holding it and all the great stuff that comes with having a physical book. Paperbacks or hardcovers? Now, honestly, I don't really care. The only thing I care about is if they are all the same in a series. Now, this isn't happening a whole lot for me. Some of my favorite series, some of them are paperbacks, some of them are hardcovers, but I want to change it so either they're all paperbacks or they're all hardcovers, because after the rainbow shelves, I think I'm going to do alphabetically by author, and I'd rather have them all at the same height. Online or in-store shopping? I love in-store shopping. I love going to my local bookstore or my local Barnes & Noble and just shopping. I think it's the best. It's the best to just, when you don't really know what you want, but you do just want to go in and buy something. So it's easier for me to go do that than to online shop, but it is cheaper online shopping, especially with Amazon Prime, or because I'm a member at Barnes & Noble, I get free shipping. So that is really nice. Trilogies or series? Honestly, I'm going to choose series because a lot of the times in trilogies, I find it really should only be a duology or a standalone. Usually I find the middle book is almost completely unnecessary. Like, something happens to further the plot, but a lot of times they suffer from second book syndrome where most of it is really boring and nothing happens. So, but in series like The Mortal Instruments or Throne of Glass, I find that each book is kind of necessary to further the plot. Heroes or villains? I gotta say, I love a good hero. Villains are good if they are done well, but a lot of them aren't, and I just love a good hero. I just love when the good guy is just the one that you're absolutely rooting for. A book you want everyone to read, Tiger's Curse by Colleen Hooge. I feel like no one talks about this book. No one has read this book. And I try to talk about it as much as possible on my channel because I want more people to read it. I absolutely love it. It is about a girl who gets a job at the zoo taking care of the tiger, but then she finds out the tiger is actually an old Indian prince. Well, he's like a teenager, but from hundreds of years ago, who was trapped in a tiger's body as she needs to break the curse. It is so fantastic. It's a 4-book series and I absolutely suggest it. Recommend an underrated book, The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. This is currently standing as my favorite, like, realistic fiction novel. It is so good. It's about this boy named Theo who is in a terrorist attack and his mom dies and he is given a priceless painting, and it's kind of his life after all of these events occur. It is fantastic. It is heartbreaking. It is heartwarming. It is just such a great book. The last book you finished, Always and Forever Lara Jean by Jenny Han. I'm not going to go into what it's about because everyone knows what it's about. It's the 3rd book in the All the Boys I Loved Before trilogy. I really loved it. Last book you bought. Online, I have bought The Final Empire and Emma, and they are, well, The Final Empire shipped, Emma hasn't, and I'm like bummed about it because Emma is the one that I need to get to this month. So I don't know how that's gonna work. But so online, those. In store, I bought The Girl Who Drank the Moon, The Eye of the World, and Always and Forever Lara Jean at the same time. Weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark? Honestly, I don't use a lot of weird things. I really like using bookmarks, but I have used a receipt before. When I was on my way back home, I bought Strange the Dreamer and all my stuff was packed up, so I used the receipt from when I bought it as my bookmark, but that's about the weirdest I've done, just because I really love bookmarks and I love using them. Used books, yes or no? Yes. Absolutely yes. If you can get them for free or for really cheap, why not? I mean, yes, I do like it when my books are in really good condition, but if I'm paying $2, who cares? I don't. You know, it's like, okay, great, it's $2. Yeah, it's a little bent, yeah, it's a little creased, but it's readable. Fantastic. I am all for it. Top 3 favorite genres: fantasy, contemporary, and science fiction. Borrow or buy. I do enjoy buying more so I can have them on my shelves, but if a friend offers a book to me saying you should read this, I won't say no. Characters or plot? I need a good mix. I guess characters more so, because if it's a book and I just hate all the characters, but it has a great plot, I'm not going to like it as much. But if it's very character driven and not the best plot, okay, but I really, really need a good mix of both, or else I'm just not going to be into the book. Long or short books? I'd have to say long, because a lot more can happen, but I also really enjoy reading a short book that I can just get through in a day. I really love that. It makes me feel very accomplished, but I also feel really accomplished when I finish like an 800-page book and I'm just like, I have conquered you. It's the best. Long or short chapters? Short. Absolutely short. I hate long chapters. It makes me feel like I'm not getting anywhere in the book, especially if it's like at night and I'm like, oh, I just want to finish the chapter that I'm on, but oh, it's 20 pages away. It's really, really annoying. And I'm the type of person that when I stop reading, I need to finish on like a chapter or like a certain page. I'm really, really obsessed with like, oh, I'm 100 pages through. Oh, I have 100 pages to go. That sort of thing. So, or just chapters, I need to finish on a chapter start, and if they're really long chapters, that's really hard to do. So definitely, without a doubt, short chapters. First 3 books you think of: Pride and Prejudice, Windfall, and Never the Hunted. Book that made you laugh and made you cry. Book that made me laugh was To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. Love this book. I love this trilogy. I am so happy I recently read it. I can't believe it took me this long to read it. It was fantastic. And a book that made me cry would have to be Strange Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I was on the plane when the ending happened and I was crying. And I was just like, Max, you gotta suck it up. I was doing that, like, you know, when your nose gets runny when you're crying, especially when you're trying to hold in crying. So I'm like sniffling, and thankfully I was on the aisle so I could get up and get a Kleenex. But it was a mess, and I just wanted to bawl my eyes out, but I couldn't because I was in the middle of a very crowded plane. Our world or fictional world? Is that even a question? Fictional world? Are you kidding me? There are so many fantastic fictional worlds that I'd love to be a part of, while the real world isn't that great. Audiobooks, yes or no? Absolutely yes. Unfortunately, right now I'm not in the mood for audiobooks. Like, I'm listening to The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson on audiobook, and I don't want to listen to it anymore. Like, it's really bad because I love the story. The audio reader is very good, but I'm just not in the mood. Maybe it's just a huge fantasy novel I'm not in the mood for listening to, but I'm not quite sure. But I usually love listening to them when I'm driving, because why not? I'm not doing anything else. So it's just nice to listen to an audiobook while driving, especially because I have to drive 45 minutes almost every day to get to work. So it's kind of nice. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? Yes, but here's what I do. A cover will first draw me in. I rarely buy a book because of its cover, but it is the first thing that catches my eye, and I'll go and read the synopsis, and if I like the synopsis, then I will buy the book. I rarely just say, ooh, that's a pretty cover, mine. I have wanted to, but I have said no because that's a waste of money. Especially if I'm like, I don't really like this plot, but I still want to buy it because it's pretty. I've had to stop myself multiple times because of that, and good for me, because that would not be good. The one book I bought because of its cover was Winged Poppy Midnight by April Genevieve Tuchok. Don't like the author. I didn't like her first book that she wrote, Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea. And then this one is all about like a love triangle, but my dad was at Sam's Club. He sent me like a list of book titles, and I just remembered that one, and I remembered the cover, so I said yes, and so I own it, and I have no desire to read it. Book to movie or book to TV adaptation? Book to TV. I love Game of Thrones. I love Outlander. Shadowhunters is okay. While a lot of movie adaptations have sucked, Percy Jackson, Maximum Ride, and many others, the more City of Bones movie, some of these have really sucked. So I find that TV shows have the bit larger opportunity to make them as similar to the book as possible. Shadowhunters hasn't done that well. Game of Thrones really did, and I've heard Outlander does a good job. And Vampire Diaries totally changed the plot line of the book, but the books weren't very good anyways. So, and I didn't really like the TV show, but I know it's still better than the book. A movie or TV show you prefer to the books? Right now it's Game of Thrones. I've read the first and like 3/4 of the books, but I've watched all the seasons and they're just so good. I friggin' love Game of Thrones and it's coming back in like a week and I cannot wait. I friggin' love Game of Thrones. Series or standalones? I honestly don't have a preference. If a standalone is really, really good and can start and wrap up a story all in one really well, I will love a good standalone. But I also love some really good series. Throne of Glass is a great series. Mortal Instruments is a great series. There are some really great series out there, but there are also some really great standalones. I honestly don't have a preference. I guess I'd probably have to say series because if I get to love the characters, I want to read more of them, about them, but I can also really enjoy a good standalone. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. This was the Rapid Fire Book Tag. I will see you on Wednesday with the Top 5 Wednesday. Bye!